Welcome class. Today we are going to talk about how to use tracks and tricks, how to make tracks and tricks on your roller coaster. Now you should see that on Moodle has a requirement and it talks about a number of different maneuvers or things that you can do with roller coaster. But here's just a reminder how you make a piece of track. I'm going to cut a thin strip. Now I will tell you, some people, I talked about it last time, some people want to make these track. And that will work. Your marble will roll down. Your marble will roll down this. You can make it. The trouble with these is it's hard to do turns and tricks, but it will make a nice set of track. Otherwise, well, let me do one. Otherwise, you can cut a strip. And by the way, you don't always have to do just one type of track. You can do a number of different types of track. But I'm folding up the edge here. Then I'm going to fold up the other side here. And now I've got a rail or a track. And the marble then can roll down that as well. So the marble will roll down that. Now, as we talked about with turns, you can make a turn by cutting through all the way from one side of the rail to the other. Make sure you don't cut all the way through, obviously you cut the track off, but then you can turn track like that, and you can actually make it go around and around and around. Just keep cutting. So that's one way of doing it. If you wanted to do a loop, and you will notice I'll show you what track I have, you can do a loop, and the way you do a loop is you go down, work your way down one side of the rail, just cutting the rail side. Don't cut all the way through the track, just cutting the rail. So I'm cutting through like that. And then I can do the same thing on the other rail, cutting through. And if you remember, it's the same way I talked about how you can make a hill, or you can rotate it this way or rotate it this way, but you can also, if you make enough of them, rotate it all the way around. And then you make a loop by rotating it all the way around. And then once you get there, you can take your piece of tape, tape it together to keep it, hold it, and then you can kind of shape it. And as you shape it, you can put some tape there to hold it. And you'll need to do both sides that way. So you need to come around on this side and do the same thing. Tape, and you want to tape these all the way to hold them. And then what you have, then you have a loop. So if you have your track, I'm going to tape this track just to keep it together. Now if you put your track up, put this down in the loop, just to kind of show you how it works. Now this may not work perfectly because I don't have it all taped together, but if I got my marble, should be able to run my marble through, and because it's loose, let me see if I can hold it together. Hold it, let's see if it'll do it this time. It's a little loose. Let me tape it, try to get it so you can see how it will. That's a good demonstration of what happens if you don't have it tight. If you don't tighten it up and put it on, and you'll see this in a little bit. then that looseness, that wiggle, keeps the marble from traveling all the way through. There you go. So, and then you can see I got a little bump here where it goes up, and then you need to make that curve smooth. And once that curve is smooth, the marble will roll all the way around. So that's the idea, and I'll show you a working loop here when I'm done showing these. Now another one that's easy to make that I would recommend, and they're kind of fun, are jumps. So in order to make jumps, you do the same thing like you were doing a hill in order to make a jump, but here sometimes you only need just one, just enough to turn the corner of it up. So I like to do 2 because 2 makes it smoother. Remember, any smooth roll up is going to allow the marble to maintain all the momentum that it's built. So I'm going to turn it up a little bit here. Once again, tape my cuts so that it holds. And once again, you can see it's jump. I'm going to have to add one more because I want it to jump. So I'm going to add one more because I actually want it to be pointing up when I'm done. I want it to be pointing up so that it will actually jump in the air. And I'll show you that in a second. Here, let me fix this. So just tape my cuts so they're where I want them. And then I'm just going to tape it down. Now, I'm just taping it to the table right now, but when you're doing it, you're actually going to be taping it to the track. Remember, you want it to be solid. And then when I do my marble, it should jump up in the air. There we go. Jump in my hand. And this is pretty good. It jumps out to about here. It's hitting my hand about right there. It's hitting my hand about right there. So that's a good 10 to 15 centimeter jump. Once again, you can, if you got it going higher, longer, faster, it'll jump farther. You can actually get it to jump up onto a level and then move again. So if I got this to jump higher, I could actually catch it with a piece of track and it would jump up and then it would travel down. Then, another thing that's really cool that you can make, and I don't know, some people call it I call it a funnel, some people call it a toilet bowl, because you can get it to swirl. What you want to do is you want to take a piece, cut it to the center, and then in the center you're going to want to have a hole because you want the marble to fall out eventually. So make a hole, and then you fold it up, and then the marble will come in, and depending on how balanced you are and how big it is and how fast it's going, it should spin around and then drop through the hole. So I would take it, maybe I would put it, once I've got it, I can actually tape it onto a piece of track here. So I can tape it here, and tape it here. I want to make it solid, and then my track, I can have it. I can have the track come in from this side, drop in, and spin around. This is a really good time eater. If you get one that spins around a lot, it could take a lot of time. I've seen some that'll take 10 seconds for it to finally make its way through. Which, if you read the requirements, the more time it takes, the more points you get for the roller coaster. So those are the quick ones: the loop, the jump, the rolling back and forth. Another maneuver that that's kind of cool. If you want to do it, let me take some tape here, and I could show you how it works. And I'm going to do one. This is one I'm going to put in my coaster this year. If I tape this here like this, and then I'm going to put another piece of track. I got one. See, I've already made the track for it. Put another piece of track here, like this, and then you can adjust the tilt on these so that it could go, you know, as fast as slow. You probably want it to go as slow as you want. And then as it goes, it'll roll down. Saw that one coming. Let me adjust this so I want you to be able to see what you can get. See how you can get it. It rolls down. I need to slow it down. So I need to slow the marble down, so I want it to go down, so I'm going to lower this, and that makes the hill lower, so that'll make it so it goes the other direction. So now you can see, hopefully you can see what would happen then is and as I adjust it, you could get it to go back and forth and back and forth, and that'll eat up a lot of time. This is one I'm going to do, so you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see it on my roller coaster as I get it developed. Okay? So that'll give you some ideas about what you can do. Oh, I should show you one more thing. If you take a strip that's just folded on one side, and you go in, a lot of people like to do this one. You go in this way, all the way to the edge. Remember, don't cut all the way through, you just cut the track. Trust me, I've seen that. And then you can wrap it around the pole. And you can actually keep wrapping around the pole, like so. And then all you have to do is tape it on there. Get a little piece of tape, tape it on there, and then you can get the spiral that'll go around. Okay, so that should give you some ideas about track. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to shoot a short video, a second video. That short video is going to show you what I've gotten done on my track at top, show you how the jump and the loop works because I've got one working, and give you that idea. The next video then will be to show you how to get solid track and what to do with your supports so that your track can stay solid. Because as you saw with that loop, if it's not solid, then it wiggles all around and it takes all the momentum out of the marble, and then the marble won't go and do what you want to do. So making the track solid on your track or on your supports is a key way of making sure your roller coaster has success.